Welcome back, everyone. Last time we heard the shocking confession of a woman who secretly slept with her own sister's boyfriend and continued the affair even after he became her sister's husband. When the truth finally came out, it destroyed their family overnight. But the real story didn't end there. In part 2, she reveals what happened after the scandal, the loneliness, the regret, and the moment she finally came face to face with the sister she betrayed. Before we continue, let me know in the comments, do you think her sister should ever forgive her after such a betrayal? My name is Diane. If you listened to my first confession, then you already know the truth about the terrible mistake I made. I had a secret affair with my sister's husband, even before they got married. When the truth finally came out, my entire world collapsed. My sister cut me off, my parents were ashamed of me, and the man I ruined everything for disappeared from my life like I meant nothing. But the part people don't talk about enough is what happens after the scandal. What happens when everyone walks away and you're left alone with the damage you caused. This is the part of my story where I try to rebuild my life. And trust me, it has not been easy. After everything came out, my phone stopped ringing. Friends who used to call me every day suddenly had excuses. Family members who used to visit no longer showed up. It was like I had become a stranger overnight. But the hardest part was the silence from my sister. Clara had always been more than just my sister. She was my protector growing up. When kids bullied me in school, she defended me. When I cried over my first heartbreak, she comforted me. And yet I had betrayed her in the worst way possible. Every day I wanted to call her and apologize. But I knew there were no words big enough to fix what I had done. So I stayed quiet. And the silence between us grew heavier with time. Many people assumed that after the divorce, Hark and I would end up together. After all, we had risked everything for each other. But that didn't happen. In fact, the opposite happened. A few weeks after the scandal exploded, Mark called me. I remember staring at my phone before answering. Part of me thought he was finally going to say we could be together openly. But instead, he said something that shocked me. He said, "Diane, I think it's best if we both move on." Just like that. Years of secret meetings, years of risking everything, and he was ready to walk away like it meant nothing. I asked him why. His answer still echoes in my mind. He said too much damage has already been done. After that call, he blocked me everywhere. And just like that, the man I had destroyed my family for was gone. Eventually, I knew I couldn't hide forever. I had to face my parents. Walking into their house that day felt like walking into a courtroom. My mother looked at me like she didn't recognize the person standing in front of her. My father didn't even greet me. I tried to explain myself. I tried to apologize. But my mother stopped me. She said something I will never forget. She said, "The sister you betrayed trusted you more than anyone in this world." Then she began to cry. Seeing my mother cry because of my actions broke me in a way nothing else had. Seeing my mother cry because of my actions broke me in a way nothing else had. That was the moment I truly understood the weight of what I had done. Not just to my sister, but to my entire family. The year that followed was the loneliest year I have ever experienced. Birthdays passed without celebration. Holidays passed without family gatherings. Even simple things like scrolling through social media became painful. Because I would see pictures of my sister and her children. Pictures of the life that had once included me. And I knew I was the reason I was no longer part of it. For a long time, I hated myself. I replayed every decision in my head, every moment when I could have walked away, but didn't. Just when I thought my relationship with my sister was gone forever, something unexpected happened. It was a random Tuesday afternoon when my phone buzzed. I almost ignored it, but when I looked at the screen, my heart stopped. It was a message from Clara. My hands were shaking as I opened it. The message was short, just one sentence. "I'm not ready to forgive you yet, but I'm trying to heal." I started crying immediately. Not because everything was suddenly fixed, but because it meant one thing. She was still willing to acknowledge my existence. And after everything I had done, that meant more than she probably realized. That message became the turning point in my life. I realized something important. If I ever wanted even the smallest chance of rebuilding my relationship with my family, I needed to change. Not just apologize, actually change. I started therapy. I started reflecting on the deeper issues that led me to make such terrible decisions. Why did I crave validation so badly? Why did I compete with my sister instead of supporting her? Why did I allow myself to cross boundaries that should never have been crossed? The answers were uncomfortable, but they were necessary. 2 years after the scandal, I finally saw my sister again. It happened at a family event. Our cousin was getting married, and both of us had been invited. I almost didn't go, but my therapist encouraged me to face the situation instead of running from it. When I walked into the venue and saw her across the room, my heart felt like it might explode. She looked different, stronger somehow, more distant. For a few minutes, we just avoided each other. And eventually, she walked toward me. We stood face to face for the first time in 2 years. And I said the only thing I could say. I'm sorry. I'm still hurt, but I don't want to carry anger forever. It wasn't forgiveness, but it was a step, and sometimes that's all healing requires. Today, my sister and I are slowly rebuilding our relationship. We are not as close as we used to be. Maybe we never will be. Some wounds leave scars that never fully disappear, but we were trying. And that means everything to me. As for Mark, I haven't heard from him in years. And honestly, I don't want to, because now I understand something I didn't understand before. Anyone who is willing to betray someone with you is also capable of betraying you. If there's one lesson I hope people learn from my story, is sometimes the biggest betrayals don't come from strangers. They come from the people closest to us. And sometimes, we are the ones who become the villain in someone else's story. All we can do after that is face the consequences, learn from our mistakes, and try to become better. I will spend the rest of my life trying to rebuild the trust I once destroyed. And even if I never fully succeed, at least I will know that I tried. Before we end today's story, I want to leave you with a few thoughts. Stories like this are difficult to hear because a sister betrayed her own sister, and the consequences affected an entire family. Our choices, especially the ones we make in secret, always have consequences. Sometimes those consequences don't show up immediately, but eventually the truth has a way of coming to the surface. And when it does, it can change lives forever. At the same time, this story also shows how complicated human emotions can be. People make mistakes. Some mistakes are small, and some leave scars that last a lifetime. The important question is what we do after we realize we were wrong. And I'd like to hear from you. Do you think her sister should ever fully forgive her after everything that happened? Or are some betrayals simply too painful to move past? Share your thoughts respectfully in the comments below. If this story taught you something or made you reflect on relationships and trust, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more real-life confessions and powerful stories like this. And remember, sometimes the decisions we make in private can affect the people we love the most. I'll see you in the next story.